Peace, peace. What's up? There we go with the echo. Hang on. Let me fix it. That should have got rid of it. That should have got rid of the echo. Now, let me turn this music down too. I don't know. Since they updated this thing, it's all it does is echo now. So I don't understand what's going on. Why it's doing that. But let me just do a sound check. You guys hear me pretty good? Let's see. Where is my chat window? Somebody said check my sound. Can you hear me now? Everybody says thumbs up. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, ever since they did this whole um update on this, it's been a mess. All right. So which I think that video I was showing y'all was the IRS webinar too, way back when I I got about 4 or 5 of those videos. So if you want those, go to my website, akimel.org or akimel.net. I'm sorry, akimel.net. And you can get those videos about the IRS. I know some of y'all have some issues with the IRS getting those letters. They claim you owe them some money, but they never want to show you proof. So how I teach you guys, hey, I'll pay you. Just show how you come up with this number, and we can settle. We could deal. But in all of the years I've sent the letter, they never answer. They always say they need more time. They need more time to come at you and get the money. I mean, you talking about this 8 years asking the same question and they never answer? That raises some eyebrows. But today, we're going to talk about that 14th Amendment, 15th Amendment. Was it really ratified? I got a document here from the Georgia Archives. I have it, and I'm going to read it. And I've read it, and it's legalese, and it's a resolution. It's a certified copy of it. But I'm gonna read it, and we're gonna see what this thing says about the 14th Amendment. Of course, you know what the 14th Amendment is. That's the where they created that U.S. citizen. Let's read. Let me read the 14th Amendment real quick. Let's read that. What does it say? It's the big issue amongst people who do not wish to be a U.S. citizen. It says all persons. It's a big section. It's in this 14th Amendment. It's about 5 different sections. Okay. It says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Let me share my screen real quick. See, let's Google. There it is. So me one. Where's my so there it is right there. Now, what you have to like if you just are, just reading this thing and you're looking at definition, if you just look at it for what it says, most people assume when they talk about persons born and naturalized in the United States. Let's start right there with that half of it. All persons born or naturalized in the United States. So if I'm just a layman, I would automatically think when they say persons, they're referring to me or someone else that I can living and breathing person. They don't they don't really define. You have to go into these laws, say what do you define as persons? What did he mean? What do you mean by persons? Let me see. I think my Black Laws dictionary is here. Hold on. My third edition Black's Laws dictionary is here. So I'm gonna look up the word person in this dictionary because this is a legal document, and lawyers drew this up. And you got to understand when they're drawing these documents up, they're not talking in a language that you speak. They speak in Latin. I said this last week. They talk in a whole different language. So you can't go into these things assuming that you know what that word persons mean. The language they're speaking is ancient. Although the word looks like you recognize it, because why? You recognize the word persons from the current educational system that hasn't really changed much since it was created. At least the structure of it all, they still, have multiple children for each teacher. They that's how they had it before, and they still got that set up. They haven't changed that whole structure. Why would they change something that's working for them? So I just, like people say, oh, the school system doesn't work. It does work for the people who created it. It does work. It was working perfectly. But they say all persons, right? So some of you already know where I'm going with this. Let's see. Persona, person. So they have long drawn out definitions of this, right? According to Black's Laws Dictionary, third edition, a man considered according to the rank he holds in society with all the right in which the place he holds entitles him and the duties which it imposes. And they have some case law attached. The term is, however, more extensive than man. Okay? It may include artificial beings as corporations. And then they got, if you go, if this is, if I'm gonna pull it up to the camera. Well, you can't see that. Let me stop sharing my screen for a second. If the camera can focus in on it, all of this right here is just all of the cases connected to the word person, proving that the word person is an artificial being. Okay? That's what all of the what you see that I'm not reading is a bunch of case law. Then it also says down here, if you go way down, they got some work. It says corporations are persons as the word is used in the first clause of the. Whoa. I didn't even know this was going to be here. I got to take a picture to try to show y'all what I'm reading. That's why I took a stop. I had to take a break. Am I seeing what I see? I'm gonna take a picture right here. I got to keep looking at what I'm reading over here. I'm gonna try to share this. I'm gonna text myself and I'm gonna share this with you guys. I told y'all I was going back to teaching y'all some stuff, right? I didn't even know I was going to run into this. I read this and I saw them case law, and I skip over. See, when you read this stuff, you skim, right? Okay, so it says here, man, it's some real smoking guns here. But I'm gonna see if I get this picture that I took and sent to myself. Okay, now I'm gonna share this. Now y'all see that says Amendment 14, right? On my screen, the screen I was sharing, right? Okay, let's do this. Let me go back to sharing that screen. Amendment 14, right? Let me put this down. Right there, it says it, right? Now, I'm going to, the picture that I took of this third edition Black's Laws Dictionary, and by the way, this dictionary is very expensive. I think I paid like $600 for this book. Maybe three and 400. I bought two different ones. I bought this one and it was another older edition that I got. I also have the first edition on a CD as well. And I also have the first, like the original old Bible on a CD. Uh, well, no, actually, a dictionary that I have. But anyway, so remember I said all persons born and naturalized in the United States, and I said you needed to know what they were talking about when they said persons. This is why they don't want you having these old books. Remember, the problem that a lot of people who teach this information, I'm keeping y'all in suspense, right? I know. Uh, they don't look at old dictionaries. They just say, okay, this is this and that, or they regurgitate what somebody else said. But let me show y'all this picture. Y'all just take a hard look at the screen. Now I'm gonna share the picture I took. Now let's make it big so y'all can read that. Let me see if I can stretch this thing out and make it big. All right, let's find what I took a picture of. Right there, right here. Corporations are persons as the word is used in the first clause of the what? 14th Amendment. It just told you they're not talking about real people. They're talking about a corporation. Let me read it again. Corporations are persons as the word is used in the first clause of the 14th Amendment. Covenanting. And there's the case law that supports that. Then it says, but a corporation of another state is not a person within the jurisdiction of the state until it has complied with the conditions of admission to do business in the state. They're talking about, man, So they're telling you this dictionary just told you that that word persons means a corporation. So I was gonna I was literally really wanted to talk about the 14th Amendment. Was it ratified? But as I was reading, I said, well, I got to define these words and help y'all see that what you think these words mean, they don't mean it. They don't mean it. Let me see what y'all said in the chat. Y'all better get y'all people on. I told y'all I was going back to teaching on Tuesday. So we 2 for 2, 2 for 2 heavy hitting shows. Last week was a good one on child support. This week is proving. I don't think anybody I, let me. I'm not trying to brag. Let me do something right here. I don't think anybody y'all been taught by ever showed y'all that proof, that much proof. You've heard them say that, I mean, they've read the definition of persons, but actually showing the case law where you actually see a statement stating that word person in the, according to the 14th Amendment, means a corporation and not a live, breathing, divine being coming from God. You see? So let's go back. Let's go back to this. Says all persons born or naturalized in the United States. Now, how are you born or naturalized in the United States? How are you? Actually, what I showed, first of all, we got 17 people on, and I only see 5 thumbs up. I'm not giving out good information. I'm not. So I think I deserve more thumbs up than that. Now let me show y'all something. I've been telling y'all for the last almost 3 years that I've been holding back. Because you know what? I wanted everybody who's teaching this information to get all of what they gotta talk about out. Get it all out. I've already helped y'all change the game with the passport. I helped that. And you know, your IRS and your discharge process, people actually are paying off bills. Really? Out of all of the years, these people were teaching discharge, and all they got was, denial letters and ignore. Most of the time, they just ignore you. And in the class last night, I told y'all been sending y'all 1099s to the wrong person. They taught y'all to send it to the CFO. And if I'm a CFO or a CEO of my company, I ain't the one designated to handle 1099s. I delegate that responsibility out to someone who's specifically trained to deal with that. But they've been telling y'all that for years. CFO this. And y'all been sending that stuff to the CFO, and all he do is laugh at y'all and ignore you. And if I'm lying, prove me wrong. I know I did it. I got laughed at, basically. When I said, I'm going to sue you, he said, go ahead. So what? Okay? So what? But then that whole process never really set right with me. Why would why I didn't set right? Because I'm a boss. I own my own companies. So let me clear that up. I don't own anything. My trust and my other entities own it. I just control it. Let me just fix that. So I don't want to deal with my 1099. I guess here's you the accountant, you deal with the 1099. I sent it to the wrong one. And I tested that theory. I tested the theory. And I got a letter back. Hey, uh, on behalf of the trust, we have received your 1099 and we're going to put it on file for you. I got a letter that says that. How many of y'all got y'all letter when got a letter like that when y'all did y'all 1099? I remember there was this couple that was teaching us, and they kind of disappeared because they was trustees for people and it didn't work out. I thought they were pretty straight up and honest people, but they were just they were misguided. And I told y'all what would happen to them. Told y'all. They would fade off into the wind because whatever they were trying to do wasn't going to work the way they thought it would. And I took a hiatus for almost 3 years of teaching like I'm doing right now. Now, we were talking about 14th Amendment. I was sitting here for hours. Okay, what am I going to talk about? I was going to deal with the birth certificate. I was going to do this. I was kind of lost on what I was going to teach. But see, that's what happens when you just trust in your ancestors. Just download it. I just did my little ritual over there. Got my my incense and stuff burning over here, and boom. Let me go I didn't plan on pulling out this dictionary, and boom, and there it is. It showed you straight up that word persons means a corporation. Now, how are you naturalized in the United States? It's a very simple thing that happens, but it makes your life complicated. The first step is you don't become a citizen. See, a lot of people say, well, that birth certificate made you a U.S. citizen. No, it didn't. What it did was it made you a state citizen. It made you a state citizen, and then you took the birth certificate and applied for a social security card, and that's when the U.S. citizen was born and naturalized. How do you naturalize into let's just look at how things work. If someone came into this country and wanted to become a U.S. citizen, they have to show their place of origin, where they came from, right? That birth certificate is, and now I'm applying to become a U.S. citizen. Then they have to take an oath and do all this stuff. But I didn't take an oath when I was born here. Yes, somebody did. Yes, somebody did. Because as soon as your mom signed that birth certificate and said, I swear on the penalty of perjury that all of the things in this document is true and false, there was the swearing in, and there was the what you call the naturalization. First, you naturalized into the state citizenship. Then, when you went for the Social Security card, you got to fill out the application. Then they got another thing under penalty of perjury. Want me to get it up? The SS5 form? Huh? SS5 form. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Here's your signature. And then it says, I declare under penalty of perjury that I have examined all the information on this form, and on any accompanying statements or forms, it is true and correct to the best of my knowledge. There's your swearing in. See, they give you the shortcut if you're born on this soil into naturalization. See, they what they called it, getting a social security card and getting a birth certificate, is that they just call it a birth record. But what you was really doing was getting a record of your naturalization into the corporations, creating what the slang is, a straw person, or in Latin, ens legis. ENS LEGIS. Ens legis. Creating a corporation or a fictional creature of law. That's what happened. Right? In the United States. Now you have to look up. We're not going to go through the because I can go. I got bookmarks after bookmarks showing you that there is many definitions for the United States. And subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. See, citizens of the United States in their state, they're not defining state. They getting you to assume what state. Let's see. Let's see. This is just I'm just flying by the seat of my pants right now. So we're gonna go look up the word state. What does it say here? According to Black's Law Dictionary. Let's see what we find. We just have to go with whatever it says here. But also, let me keep in mind, whenever you see these constitutions or any statutes, you should always look up the definition under that statute, because that's what it means according to that statute. Of course, we got the Constitution don't have a glossary of definitions, but your codes and statutes do. They have a definition section on each code and statute. Okay, this is what the word state means according to this title. So we're going to use the Black's Law Dictionary for the sake of this. Y'all, for the first time, this happened a few other times, but this haven't happened in a while. That while I'm actually trying to talk about something, I discover something else. I knew that the person was a corporation, but to actually see that in black and white, that evidence, that's hard hitting, baby. And I got a case to go pull it up, so that means I expanded on the screen, so all of y'all should be looking at that case so you can read it. And if you ever been challenged, hey, no, I'm not. I'm not a corporation. This case law actually says I'm not. All right, let's see what the word state according to state. It says a body politic or society of men united together for the purpose of promoting their mutual safety and advantage by the joint efforts of their combined strength. Cooley, that's some case law. A political community organized under a distinct government, recognized and confirmed by its citizens and subjects as a supreme power. One of the component commonwealths or states of the United States of America. They didn't say United States. They say United States of America. The term is sometimes applied also in governmental agencies authorized by state, such as municipal corporations. Okay. So they're saying a municipal corporation is a state, right? The people of a state in their collective capacity considered as the party wronged by a criminal deed, the public as entitled cause, the state as versus AB, the section of territory occupied by one of the United States. The word state describes sometimes a people or community of individuals united more or less closely in political relations inhabiting temporarily or permanently the same country. Often it denotes only the country or territorial region inhabited by such community. Not unfrequently, it is applied to the government under which the people live. At other times, it represents the combined idea of people, territory, and government. And also, state also means the circumstances or condition of a being or thing at a given time. And just to go on to add foreign state, a foreign country or nation to several United States are considered foreign to each other except as regards to their relations as Commonwealth members of the Union. So they're saying, this just said, it didn't say no other country. It said a foreign state. That's the where it says we're defining foreign state. A foreign country or nation. The several United States are considered foreign. And y'all have seen that in title. The United States means the several states. And we know they're not talking about your North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and all of those. They're talking about Puerto Rico, Guam, outlying Mariana. Those are what they call the several states. They said the several United States are and the District of Columbia. Okay? The several United States are considered foreign to each other except as regards their relations as common members of the Union. So this states, let's go back to person because it was something I saw that I didn't mention that was just as revealing. I think it was on that little clip, but we're gonna go back to this word person. Because while I was reading, I saw that too, but I wanted to it was a part in here. It says here, and a statutory requirement of such conditions is not in conflict with the. Hold on. It there was something to do with criminal that I had saw. So now I'm gonna have to go and read through this. If I don't find it out. Okay, this is what I said. It says a corporation is also a person under a penal statute. Hakeem, why is that important for you to say that? Because every criminal complaint is issued in all caps. So that means that that's a corporation and they're trying to enforce an action according to the penal codes on that corporation. See, that's the thing that most people know but don't know how to navigate that. How do you go into these courtrooms and really drive home that that name that they got on the paper is really not you? That's a corporation that they're trying to find guilty or in violation of their penal codes. I just read right there. I think if you look at that picture that I had up there, I think that picture was there. It's in there. Yep, it's there. That picture that I took is there. And you can go get the case law that relates to that. I'll show y'all again. Let me share the screen again. See it there right there? Right there. Somebody said state versus state. Yep, exactly. So, I mean, this is ammunition to help you in any situation. Of course, they love trying to make you feel like you're crazy when you bringing this stuff out. So let's go to back to what I was to the 14th Amendment. It says all persons, well, I read that. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of law. So they're saying any of the citizens of the United States will enjoy the protection of the United States, and their rights cannot be deprived. Now, we all know U.S. is a corporation, right? You know that straw man is a corporation. But when they talk about deprive persons of life, liberty, any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, who are they talking about, really? Now, I just said they're all corporations. Who are they talking about? Who are they protecting? Well, let's go back to 2008 when the economy was failing, big banks were failing. Who did they take care first? The persons, the corporations. The big corporations got bailed out. Why? Because they were living up to this 14th Amendment. No, without due process of law, they couldn't take their life. What is the life of a company? Shutting it down, closing it down, putting it out of business. At that point, it ceases to exist. Liberty, the liberty to conduct business as it wants to. Property, who does it? All of its property that it's on. They give the corporation to show you that the big corporation, the United States, takes care of its big corporations. They got all the breaks. They got all the money. Then they did it again. COVID hit. They gave corporations more money. Billions of dollars went to big corporations. And anybody small, and guess what? They went after all of the small people who they said was not supposed to get the money because it wasn't for you. It was for big corporations. What was the whole PPP was for people who had employees to protect those big companies that had a lot of employees, and all of those companies made out. Well, if I've saw small companies getting millions of dollars. So imagine a company with 20 or more employees, what kind of money they got during the COVID, and then they didn't have to pay it back. So when you're looking at the 14th Amendment, it has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with their persons, their citizens. People are creating persons every day when they go down to the Secretary of State and create their LLCs, their C Corp, their S Corps, their trust. Those are persons. All those are persons. And this is what this is referring to. And just to add another note to it, when y'all come to voting, who got the power? The electoral colleges. What is the electoral college? It's a group of people. It's not the individual people. They get to vote for the president. I'll go and shred. Those are another forms of corporations and entities. You have to understand this whole system is made to look like you or look like it's living and breathing, but it's really entities transacting with each other. And the moment you go in there and mess with their business, they come after you. That's what you're dealing with. You're in you're operating in the fictional world when you're really supposed to be operating in the natural world, the divine world, God's world. That's what they mean by separating yourself from the world. And if you do transact with them, you're supposed to create your avatar to do business with them, and you are behind the veil. But they programmed you to go get the social security card and give that number to everybody you do business with. Their number that belongs to their corporation that they control, that they make the rules. If you use this number, you got to do your 1040s, you got to do your taxes. When they're asking for the tax to be paid, they're not asking you, they're asking your corporation, your straw man to pay. That's who's the person that is the debtor who owes them, because your mom went down there and got that social security card and created it for that purpose, although she didn't know. All right. And it says, and if you read section 5, it says the Congress shall have power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provision of this article. So this 14th Amendment gives Congress a blank check to make any rules to enforce everything from numbers 1 through 4. Now, I told you I was going to talk about the 4th. Man, it's already 8:01. Man, shoot. Let me go share this thing. I told you I was going to talk about it. There it is. This is a certified copy of a resolution. And it says a resolution, a memorial to the Congress of the United States of America, urging them to enact such legislation as they may deem fit to declare that the 14th and 15th Amendments to the Constitution of the United States were never validly adopted and that they are null and void and of no effect. Now, y'all can go right down to Georgia and get this. This is in the Georgia archives. Whereas the state of Georgia, together with the 10 other southern states declared to have been lately in rebellion against the United States following the termination of hostilities in 1865, met all the conditions laid down by the President of the United States in the exercise of his constitutional powers to recognize the governments of states, domestic as well as foreign, for the resumption of practical relations with the government of the United States, and at the direction of the president, did elect senators and representatives to the 39th Congress of the United States as a state and states in proper constitution relation to the United States. And whereas when the duly elected senators and representatives appeared in the capital of the United States to take their seats at the time for the opening of the 39th Congress, and again at the times for the openings of the 40th and 41st Congress, hostile majorities in both houses refused to admit them to their seats in manifest violations of Articles 1 and 5 of the United States Constitution. So basically, they're saying that it was time to decide on this 14th and 15th Amendment. They were basically barred from being there. In order for the 14th and 15th Amendment, they had to be there. Okay. And whereas the said Congress, and not being constituted of senators and representatives from each state as required by the supreme law of the land, were not in constitutional contemplation, anything more than private assemblages unlawfully attempting to exercise the legislative power of the United States. And whereas the so-called 39th Congress, which proposed to legislatures, let me say it again, proposed to the legislatures of the several states an amendment to the Constitution of the United States known as the 14th Amendment, and the so-called 40th Congress, which proposed an amendment known and the 15th Amendment, were without lawful power to propose any amendment whatsoever to the Constitution. And whereas 2/3 of the members of the House of Representatives and of the Senate, as they should have been constituted, failed to vote for the submission of these amendments. And whereas all proceedings subsequently flowing from these invalid proposals, purporting to establish the so called 14th and 15th Amendments as valid parts of the Constitution, were null and void and of no effect from the beginning. And whereas, furthermore, when these invalid proposals were rejected by the General Assembly of the state of Georgia and 12 other southern states, as well as of the sun-dried northern states, the so-called 39th and 40th Congresses, in flagrant disregard of the United States Constitution by the use of military force, dissolved the duly recognized state governments in Georgia and 9 of the other southern states and set up military occupation or puppet state governments, was completely ratified the invalid proposals, thereby making, at the point of the bayonet, a mockery of Section 4, Article 4 of the Constitution, guaranteeing that every state in this union a Republican form of government and guaranteeing protection to each of them against invasion. And whereas further, the pretended ratification of the so-called 14th and 15th Amendment by Georgia and other states whose sovereign powers had been unlawfully seized by force of arms against the peace of the dignity of the people of those states were necessary to give color to the claim of the so-called 40th and 41st Congresses that these so-called amendments had been ratified by 3/4 of the states. And whereas it is well established principle of law that the mere lapse of time does not confirm by common acquiescence an invalidly enacted provision of law, just as it does not repeal by general desuetude a provision validly enacted. And whereas the continued recognition of the 14th and 15th Amendments as valid parts of the Constitution of the United States is incompatible with the present day position of the United States as the world's champion of constitutional governments, resting upon the consent of the people given through their lawful representatives. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the General Assembly of the state of Georgia, the Congress of the United States is hereby memorialized and respectfully urged to declare that the exclusions of the Southern senators and representatives from the 39th, 40th, and 41st Congress were malignant acts of arbitrary power and rendered those Congresses invalidly constituted, that the forms of law with which those invalid Congresses attempted to clothe the submission of the 14th and 15th Amendments and to clothe the subsequent acts to compel unwilling states to ratify these invalidly proposed amendments imparted no validity to these acts and amendments, and that the so-called 14th and 15th Amendments to the Constitution of the United States are null and void and of no effect. Be it further resolved that copies of this memorial be transmitted forthwith by the clerk of the House and the secretary of the Senate of the state of Georgia to the President of the United States, the Chief Justice of the United States, the President of the Senate, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the Congress of the United States, and the senators and representatives in the Congress from the state of Georgia. I didn't think I was going to, there's all the signatures. I didn't think I was going to be able to read all that, but I did. So, according to this document, which is a certified copy of it, they're stating that Georgia and 4 or 5 other states of the union were not properly, what do you call? They weren't, according to the way they vote on 14, 15, 14, those amendments, those representatives were not there. Or they put people there that wasn't supposed to be there, according to this. Now, somebody, well, how do you know that's true? Well, how do you know it's not true? You I mean, this is in their archive. This comes out right out of the archive. There it is. I, Christopher M. Davidson, JD, State Archivist, do hereby certify that the 3-page document here to attach and made part of this certificate is true and correct copy of the entire file for resolution number 45, SR 39, approved March 8th, 1957. This didn't happen that long ago. A memorial to the Congress of the United States of America urging them to act such legislation as they deem fit to declare that the 14th and 15th Amendments to the Constitution of the United States were never validly adopted. And I further certify that the described resolution is on file and of official record in the archives of the state of Georgia. Now, why wouldn't they want to go back? Okay, this is not right. Let's fix this. Why? Because it would set all their slaves free. It would, they won't, they'll be out of business. That's why they won't do it. They would be out of business. United States, as we know it, would cease to exist because they got to keep the facade up. And they so deeply entrenched in it now, got to keep it going. A lot of things would change. A lot. But there you have it. There you have it. See, that's why I love to I like to read their stuff, not my opinions. And I like to listen to people who want to teach from a position of reading documents. Told y'all I was back. Told y'all. So y'all need to go back and rewind this show, share it with your friends, and get those case laws and look them up and read them. It just said it. Corporations, the persons that they're talking about in the 14th Amendment is corporations. It said that. I need to show y'all again. Do I have to show this to you again? Did I close it out? I think I closed out my there it is. Did I show it again? Corporation or person as the word is used in the first clause of the 14th Amendment. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Man, oh man, y'all. Man, right there in your face. I'm a post this all over the place. Highlight it. I'm gonna go ahead and highlight it and point to it. Let me see if I can you can mark these things up. Let's see. I don't want that. I want right. Oh, I could actually take that little section out. Let's go back. Let's take that back. Let's undo that. I don't want that exactly. Well, that's good enough. Yeah. And then I'm going to save it. Um, I don't want to. I want to do it as a JPG. Yeah. There we go. Bam. This sucker's going up, so all the world to see. All right. Where's my chat at? Where's my chat? Before I shut it down. Let me shut it down. All right, let's see. Let's go back to the beginning. We got Asim Shabazz. Peace to all. Sim, I got your message a while ago. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to call you back. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Uh, uh Awinasa Alinga Kachina Bay says peace and greetings. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Discipleship Ministry says peace, my brother. Peace back to you. See King Bay say peace, everyone. Corinne says happy Tuesday, everyone. Peace, power, and prosperity to our host and everyone in the chat. Thank you, Inslegas. Maxell says peace. A White says peace. He said the intro had no sound. Oh, my bad. My bad. The intro had no sound. Okay. And legalese. So they can't use lawful terms in their society, right? They can use legalese in their society. Lawful, what's law is the up according to this Western culture. The top law, there's three things that come first before all of their statutes. You have the Bible is considered law because they consider that the word of God. Then you have treaties. Then you have constitution. Then you have codes and statutes. That's a hierarchy of how things are operating. Javier says, haha, got him. Yeah, we got him. Somebody said, what is the law book you're reading? That's Black's Laws Dictionary, 3rd edition. Black's Law Dictionary, 3rd edition. Very hard to find. You can find them, but you're going to pay some money. You're gonna pay the money. That's it right there. Oh, am I still sharing my screen? No. That's it right there. That's what I was reading. Yeah. All right. Um, yep, I try to speak facts. Said somebody said they missed the class. I don't know. Are you in my private membership? If you're in a private membership, you didn't miss it. You have to be part of the membership for the class. Um, said preach, brother, preach. Some might have received their sight tonight. I hope they did. It's not state versus state. Correct. They said they sent some of the small covers called stimulus checks. Yep. Yeah, they gave the Enlegases the stimulus check where they gave the big corporations the PPP, the big money. It's my opinion that the 1895 South Carolina Constitution is null and void, and that the 1868 South Carolina Constitution is the valid Constitution still in effect because it was ratified by Congress. That is true. That is true. I agree. I actually have certified copies. That was when, South Carolina was the very first place that Constitution that I studied in 1868. Constitution is the original the 1895 Constitution. And if you look around to many of the states, what that 14th that resolution I just read supports what I believe happened. 1895 is when they took over and they started to transform governments and convert the citizens into corporations. Right? Because 1895 is when they took up their constitutional conventions. And that's when the 14th and 15th Amendment came about. And that also goes to when I was teaching about the Pittsburgh Ben Tillman That when I used to do this, when I was doing seminars, I would read that, how he specifically stated that they created the 14th and 15th Amendment for the purposes of taking rights. And I got a certified document from Georgia that says that confirms that. Uh, Now that I'm on it, I'll pull it up. I haven't read that in a while. Let's see. Let's see if we can find that document. Benjamin R. Tillman. Let's find it. I have it on my computer somewhere, but I haven't pulled it out. There it is. Here's a bootleg copy of it. There it is. And that was 1895, right? That's the Constitution that the South Carolina goes by. Let me share the screen up for you. Let me share the screen. Here it is. It says it right there. We did not disenfranchise the Negroes until 1895. Then we had a constitutional convention convened, which took the matter up calmly, deliberately, and avowedly with the purpose of disenfranchising as many of them as we could under the what? The 14th and 15th Amendments. Now, this is not I have the certified copy from the Congress that says exactly what this says. You see? And this is just abbreviated version of it because in the actual certified copy that I have, it talks about how the Negro had the government before they came in and took over through violence. And guess what party they belonged to, the Negroes of that time? Republican. Ben Tillman was a Democrat. And that's really, actually, that's when the Democrats was created. It was the Whig Party, then they converted to the Democratic Party, and they hired the Ku Klux Klan, which was their military arm, to go out and terrorize and kill so that they can win. Because let me see if I can find that original, because the original, let me go back. It might still be up there. We read this so much that they started taking stuff down. See how they got him with a pitchfork there? That's him. And guess what school he founded? Clemson University. This is just talking about him in his life. But I'm trying, and they go populist, racist. And they got a statue of him on the State House grounds over there in South Carolina. Yes, sir, Bob. They do. Ain't nobody talking about that. I'm trying to find that PDF. Because see that little thing snippet I read you didn't tell you the whole story. Because it calls into question a lot of things. How all of a sudden these people that were slaves began to outnumber white folks? How? It started to call into question a lot of this history they've been talking about. I can't find the original. Maybe next week I'll pull it up. I done read that thing so many times. I got bored and tired of reading it, but it seems like now it's time to talk about it. again. Where is that PDF? Oh, here it is. I found it. I found it. Didn't take it down. It says pitchfork addresses. And I'm just gonna skim. Oh, this ain't the one. This is differently. This is where's the other one? They're just talking. They just having. No, this is not it. Let's go back. They took it down. See this. This is what I just read, and they just chopped up the speech. They chopped it up. I'll find it. I know I have it on my computer, and I just don't have time to be looking for it. See, here they got not found. I got it. I have it. When I pull it up, I'll show y'all. It said how we outnumbered them massively, and they could never win in a honest vote, a true vote. They would never be able to win. You see? I should have some more likes. I got 14. Come on, man. It's 23 people. I should have 23. If you don't like it, um, I'm trying to find that thing. I want to read it to y'all to show y'all how we outnumbered them and they took over. They said we took the government away from them. We took it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me go back what I was reading earlier. What is this? I think it said it there. They said we did not disarray. We took it up kindly. Blah blah. No. We have to. Yeah. Whoever cited this really took out the meat of the speech, and that speech is in the archives. So if y'all want to know true history, you got to go to the archives. And I know it's hard because you got to really know what you're looking for. Most like tonight when I was reading, I stumbled across that. But that takes you're not going to stumble on anything if you're not studying. See, if you really study and looking for truth, you're going to stumble on more truth than anything. You could be looking for one thing and next you know, wow, look at this revelation. But you have to be looking for truth. See, when I first got on this, I wanted the truth. I wasn't looking for some fly by night. Get my bills paid. I wanted to know what it was, and I knew this information was freedom. I wasn't looking for when I came. I wasn't looking for get rich quick stream. Although I did try all of those discharge processes as a byproduct of getting, but I was more interested in knowing what was really going on. You know, so all right, man. I left y'all a lot to think about. A lot. So what else? Oh, we got Thursday's show, Level Up Thursday, with me and Corinne. We had 2 shows so far. We're gonna try to make this show technically proficient, no technical errors. But go check the show out. They're good shows. That's where we talk about leveling up. And Sunday I do my preaching thing. I preach. I teach y'all how to use your mind. Teach you to see that you are the God or the Christ you're looking for. The power is within your hands. This Sunday, I think what I'm going to talk about is There's no one coming after you. There's no one hating on you. There's no one really trying out to get you. It's your perception that's out to get you. How you seeing things that's hurting. I guess what I really want to say, there's no one really hurting you or trying. It's it's just you believe they're trying to hurt you. Oh, King, that's how they're trying to get me. That's yes, you know, that's the way to look at it. And a lot of people love looking at it like that. But when you really dig down deep, it's not them that's hurting you. It's your belief in the fact that they are. You believe they're hurting you. You believe they're after you. See, it's that contract you signing with the idea and perception of, yeah, that's trying to get me. See, they fed us that nonsense through the church. The devil is always out to get you. Watch out. He gonna trick you. And in reality, I just woke up one day. I said, I never talked to the devil ever. I heard about him. I heard a lot about that fella. I can tell you right now, the churches talk more about the devil than they talk about God sometimes. A lot of times. Devil is, you gotta be careful. Blah, 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 blah. You got you looking over your shoulder every which way. You're so busy looking over your shoulder. You're not looking at the true divine light, the true divinity within yourself. And that's why we get lost. Because we got people telling us watch out for the devil. And not watch out for how we see things. Our own mind that's playing tricks on us. And I'm gonna stop it right there. We'll talk about that on Sunday. But see y'all on Thursday, 7 o'clock for Level Up Thursday. And with that being said, peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all.